Today I'm going to be making the Fudgiest Brownies. When I saw this picture on this page, I thought I have to make those brownies. That sold me. They look incredible. This recipe is from the January-February 2024 edition of Better Homes and Gardens. And so this is they've widened the magazine these days if you haven't bought one in a while. But the picture's here on page 77, but then you have to go back to page 93 to actually get the recipe, which is fine. So what you're going to need for these brownies, you're going to need a half a cup of flour, a half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, any type it says, a 1/4 teaspoon baking powder. Also in here we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You need a 1/3 cup of butter, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, half a cup of granulated sugar, half a cup packed brown sugar, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon vanilla. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and you want to line an 8-inch square baking pan with parchment paper. Mine happens to be glass, so hopefully it's okay. It says coat the paper with non-stick cooking spray. Normally when I cook with parchment paper, I do not spray it, but they told me to, so I did. I sprayed it with the Great Value Walmart brand vegetable cooking spray. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your flour, your baking powder, and your salt, and your cocoa, and you want to whisk these together in a bowl. Then you want to take your 1/3 cup of butter and your 3 tablespoons of oil. Pour this in here. We're going to cover it with a piece of paper towel, and we're going to microwave this for until the butter is melted. It'll be about 1 minute. So we have our melted butter, and now we want to add both sugars to the butter, and then we're going to whisk this for 1 minute. Right now we want to add both of our eggs and the vanilla. And we're going to whisk well until slightly thickened and light in color. It says about 2 minutes. Now we're going to add our dry mixture to this, and we're going to whisk it in just until it is combined. Take your mixture and pour it into your pan. Bake until top is puffed and brownies appear just set. And then it says 20 minutes. Cool on wire rack. So I'm gonna put these in for 20 minutes and then we'll be back. So here are the brownies. They were in for a full 20 minutes. So now I'm gonna let them sit here on my wire rack and cool completely before we cut them. These brownies have been sitting here cooling for about an hour. I am not going to cut them yet, but I am going to just lift them up and put them on another wire rack so they'll cool quicker, because right now I baked them in a glass pan and that glass pan holds heat for a long time. So they've cooled off some, but just not completely. Brownies are completely cooled. You're supposed to get 16 brownies. So I'm just gonna cut them the way that I want to cut them, and then we'll see how many I get. wipe your knife off in between cuts, then you won't get it looking like that, and you'll get nicer, prettier brownies. I just usually don't like to take the time to wipe the knife off. These are teeny tiny brownies, little bitty squares, but that is how they look. Okay, my brownies do not look like these brownies. These brownies look like milk chocolate, but they look lighter. They're significantly lighter. Mine are very, very dark, almost black brownies. Also, they have 5 large squares here. You're supposed to get 16 servings, so of course mine are teeny tiny. In order for me to have replicated that picture, I would have had to have cut really big squares to be able to do that. Yeah, to get mine as big as theirs. So just know they take liberties when they take these pictures. You know, you could do your best to try to get them to look the same, but don't feel bad if they don't, is all I'm saying.
They do look good though.
So this says the Fudgiest Brownies. Because these brownies have a dense, moist texture, they don't require a lot of leavening, so any type of cocoa will work with the baking powder amount listed below, which we talked about during the video. It says to store brownies in an airtight container, at room temperature for up to 3 days, or freeze for up to 1 month. They are supposed to be 136 calories each. Okay.
You'll want an edge.
Okay, I got an edge. Usually I'm not an edge person, because I like ooey gooey.
The best part's the edge.
Do you always feel that way?
No. But for these, even the edge is kind of soft. But it gives you a little bit of a crunch. So I like it. They're very good. They're not super sweet. Like you go buy a box of like the Ghirardelli's, which is one of our favorites. It's really rich and sweet. This is not quite as sweet, but it is very good.
That is delicious.
Yep, it's a good brownie.
That is absolutely delicious.
What do you think about the edge? That's the kind of edge you want. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not hard like some brownies have like a really hard edge. This is just got a light crunch to it. Mm-hmm.
I still prefer the center. I do. Yeah. But I don't mind the edge. Normally, I actually mind the edge. Normally, I am anti-edge on brownies, just brownies specifically, because they usually are a little firmer.
Like dry ice.
Yes, they're much firmer. These are not, they're not really much firmer than the center, but then you can still tell it is an edge.
Right.
I love the texture of these. They're incredibly soft.
Yeah, they're almost thick.
They're incredibly moist. When I picked out this recipe to make, I thought, okay, these brownies sound good. I'm going to make brownies. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, how much different can they be? You know, you can make brownies are brownies, right? No, these truly are different than a standard brownie recipe. And it's so easy, and it's things that you probably have up in your cabinets right now.
Yeah, there's nothing weird in there.
No, there's nothing strange, and it's the only thing you might not have usually is maybe cocoa powder. We have cocoa powder just because I'm always baking stuff. That's one of those staples, but you might not have that. But everything else you probably have.
Yeah.
But I think they're delicious.
I think they do. The only thing I might recommend, maybe to fluff them up a little bit. I don't know if it would. I'm just saying maybe it would. Use an electric mixer with a whisk attachment on the times it says to whisk them, and maybe that's going to aerate it a little bit more.
Right, because mine did not puff up. They said you're supposed to bake until the top is puffed.
Yeah, which these can look a little puffed, but
they were very, very little puffed. Yeah. So maybe Kevin's right. If you aerate them a little bit more, they will puff up. But I think they're delicious.
Yeah, they're fine the way they are. I'm just saying if you want a little bit fluffier, maybe that would be a way to achieve that. I don't even know if it would. I'm just saying be something you could try.
Right. And they're not, they are sweet, but they're not like overly sweet.
No, but they're also not really dark, like bitter either.
No, I don't think so at all. I think they're really delicious.
Especially when you're using cocoa powder to supply the cocoa flavor.
Yes.
Sometimes it comes across as like, ooh, that tastes like baking cocoa. It's really dark. This is, I mean, it's got a little darkness there, but they're not that dark.
Right. No, I agree. So I think this is a very successful recipe. I enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.